going on, guys? Welcome back to Spool Zone. On today's video, I'm gonna unbox this N54 Twin Turbo installation kit from ECS Tuning. If you saw my last videos, you would know I received the twin turbos from GotTuned out in Poland, and I got the kit now, so I'm gonna start assembling them. I'm gonna switch over the oil and coolant lines from the stock turbos and replace all the O-rings and gaskets, and let's get this thing on the road. Let's get into this unboxing here. So now I got the kit somewhat organized. As you can see here, I can go through it for you. Comes with a bunch of O-rings, intake pipe gaskets, flange nut, exhaust manifold studs, downpipe exhaust gaskets, cloth braided fuel vacuum hose, water pump aluminum screws, which I didn't realize came with. That's pretty cool. Intercooler pipe O-rings, turbo oil line gaskets, intercooler piping seal. Well, you get the idea. Everything you need to install new twin turbos on your N54. And so first, here are the studs and the nuts. So I'm gonna put the studs into the head and torque those down properly. Then I'm gonna get going on moving these old oil feed lines and drain lines over to the new turbos. They're like lotto tickets, look at them. I'm gonna get these studs in the block now. As you can see, these are the two shields that are gonna go behind the turbos and protect the lines from the turbos. So I'm gonna clean those off real quick before I get those ready. All right. Check that out. A little bit better, huh? I am just torquing these studs down to 7.4 foot-pounds. And we got the line. So this is how it went. I'm gonna run water through them and then blow them out with the compressed air just to make sure there's nothing clogged in there. So I'll show you what this is looking like now before I clean it. It's pretty dirty. And there's also O-rings on the end, as you can see. So I'm gonna get a little pick and get those off and definitely replace the O-rings. Cleaned it all up. Next, I'm gonna use a little pick to get this O-ring off of the oil line, and then I'm gonna clean up that area real good before I get the new oil ring on, which is in this little bag here. And then I'm gonna just rub some oil on there to keep it lubricated until we're ready to put it on. And I'll get the gasket ready for this side and clean up the hardware, which is covered in oil over here. Probably going a little overboard with this procedure, but you know what? I'm thinking if I take this off here, I might be able to gain a little bit more access to these lines. Yeah, so that opened that right up. Yeah, it's been quite a while, me trying to figure out how to get these lines out, but I think I'm about to do it. So, take a look. Got this line all cleaned up. Next, I'm gonna get this one off. And because this was the last one to come off, it's gotta be the first one to go on. And I got it to stick over this little hole here, so I'm gonna try and pry it up with the screwdriver like that. Definitely made a noticeable popping sound once I pushed it down far enough. when you're putting these lines on, you want to make sure that you put this one on first, because it goes underneath this one with this little clip mechanism here. So 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, and 3, doesn't really matter on the assembly. Next, I am going to get the exhaust gaskets. They go around the 3 ports here. There's the part number. I'm going to tear into these. And if I remember correctly, it's definitely one and done with these, so don't try putting them on and removing them. So I got those on, not gonna touch them. Just gonna set this turbo down. It's got the oil feed and drain lines, the coolant line on. I have to make sure this is torqued properly, and then I can put it on the car. But I'm probably gonna take care of the lines for the other turbo and get that prepared, and then we'll get it on the engine. I have put on all the lines for both turbos. Really want to make sure that these exhaust gaskets are seated in here. So I'm like checking on both sides and making sure that I'm not pinching off a corner when I'm tightening this down here. For this spot in particular, if you're trying to use an 11mm socket, it's real hard to get the socket around it because it's too close to the exhaust manifold. So you can use a T50 instead, and I'm gonna try and get it that way. I'm almost done screwing in these nuts onto the exhaust manifold, and this just seated in by itself, literally. So I decided that they probably made it such a tight fit so that as you're screwing it down, these basically want to slip in, and that's what I'm finding. So this one's about in too, and then this one I got in, as well as this one is about to go in. So that's just gonna slip right in there. You can see I got the lines plugged in. Boom, 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 and boom. Now there are 2 lines that are crossing here, and I'm looking at them like, I knew there was a pipe that came off the middle, and sure enough there's 2 little spots for them to go in. So before I put this pipe on, I'm gonna go clean it. Let's get this O-ring on here.
That's good.
Got that in there. Alright, so this is the only line that I haven't put on yet, and it's possible I should have wedged this in before, but either way I gotta put the new O-rings on and try and get it back there. It was difficult, but I was able to wedge this line behind the turbos after I pretty much mounted them. Now these nuts aren't torqued down yet, but I was able to get the line. You can see where it's got to go in there. It's got to go into the block here, and then it's got to go into this turbo here. So that took quite a while to get those aluminum heat shields around the back of these turbos. So basically they protect the lines from the heat, which is great. But it's such a tight space, it's hard to wedge them in there, but I did it. So now I'm just gonna get the rest of the screws for these, and then I'm gonna torque these nuts down, everything down to torque spec. And then, yeah guys, so that's the turbo installation. Now, I think I have decided to go with VRSF inlets and outlets, as well as their dual cone intake. If you guys have any input on that, let me know, but let me know soon, because I'm gonna order them definitely within the next 2 days so that I can start those installs for you. I gotta take it off the engine stand next so that we can get ready to install the twin disc clutch, also from GotTuned. Again, if you're interested in their turbos, I'll put the links in the description below. They make hybrid turbos for 600-700 crank horsepower, so go check them out. And definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.